Welcome to Global Business People, the show about people conducting business in the world today. Now, here's our host, Wendy Walsh.
Hello, I'm Wendy Walsh, and this is Global Business People. What is Global Business People? Simple. You're about to meet some of the world's most interesting, innovative, and dynamic business leaders today. Welcome to Global Business People.
Steve Wynn is Mr. Las Vegas, but he's had to overcome personal challenges to get there.
I don't need to see a shrink, I'll tell you what. I'm like Attila the Hun. I'll just get competitive. Don't worry about me.
Then futurist Faith Popcorn shares her views on a new high-tech business for the future.
Now, knowledge chips are little tiny computer chips that would be inserted like right about here. There'd be a little opening, and you wouldn't have to learn French, you'd speak French.
Tommy Hilfiger parlayed a $150 investment into a mega fashion empire. He tells us how.
I was in high school, I was working in a gas station, and I was pumping gas, making about $1 an hour, so I saved $150. And I bought 20 pairs of bell-bottom jeans from the street in New York City.
It's all coming up next on Global Business People.
Hello everyone, I'm Perry Ruther. When you think of Las Vegas, you can't help but talk about Steve Wynn. He's one of the greatest developers in the gaming business today. He developed the Mirage, Treasure Island, and now his crowning achievement, the Bellagio. I had an opportunity to speak with Mr. Wynn today to tell us about how he makes all of his dreams come true. I know you were born in Connecticut. Your father operated an East Coast bingo empire. Now, how much of your childhood experiences really affected your career choice?
A lot. I would go to Miami Beach in the late 50s when it was really quite the place. And those were the years when the Fontainebleau Hotel was built. And at night, everybody would be at this glamorous place, the Fontainebleau, and be at the coffee shop or eating dinner. And all they would do would be talk about the fellow who owned the hotel, whose name was Ben Novak. And I saw this fellow Novak walking around the Fontainebleau, and I noticed that it was significant that he was never abused while he was in that building, to say the least, like it was good to be king,
Right.
to Mel Brooks's line. It was good to be king, and I said, you know, this looks like a nice life.
What would you say is your drive in this business?
The idea of making places that give people a unique experience in life has always been fascinating to me, and the confidence that if you could build such a place, they would come if you built it, have been the things that have kept me going.
You're constantly reinventing not only yourself, but the hotels and resorts. How do you explain the creative process that you go through?
You come to it by understanding the creative process, and that process is exactly that, a process. You get with the right people, you have an overriding idea of where you'd like to go, and then you struggle and scratch. You face failure after failure. You come to dead ends all the time, and you keep plugging away at it because you like the process. You've got to love the trip. God lives in the details. You've got to go there with him to get what you want.
Yeah.
You've got to like it.
Right.
If you're after money, you'll never be a great artist. Not that good creative projects shouldn't make you wealthy or produce success. They do.
Right.
But you're not driven by the money. You're not driven by the idea of owning it. You're driven by the idea of the joy of helping to create it.
Passion of it.
It's a trip. You're a passenger on a train. You got to like going on a trip.
I think you like that trip.
I love that trip.
It shows.
I love that trip.
Obviously.
Steve Wynn's journey started at the downtown Golden Nugget, but all roads led to the Las Vegas Strip. He came, he conquered, and now he enriches with $300 million of art in his newest showplace.
I want to talk about the Bellagio's art gallery, this fabulous collection you have.
It's a big mistake to think that you have to be some rich, effete snob to like art. That as a matter of fact, the average American, the average person, has as much or more capacity as is necessary to appreciate fine art. They may not have the money to go buy one, but they have the enthusiasm and the aesthetic sensitivity to go see one. Well, I thought that would be a great compliment to my guests.
Captain of the
In a tragic irony, this man of great vision is losing his eyesight due to a degenerative disease.
You have accomplished many things in your life. And also with something that people would call a handicap, a personal handicap, with the retinitis pigmentation. How do you overcome that?
They call it RP for short, and I remember when the doctor told me when I was 29 years old that I had this condition. He said, would you like to have the name of someone to talk to? And I said, I laughed. I said, oh, a shrink, huh, Doc? I said, listen, no, I don't need to see a shrink. I'll tell you what. I'm like Attila the Hun. I'll just get competitive. Don't worry about me. Trust me, Doc. I'm just going to handle this. And that'll be something that'll keep me sustained, how well I can handle it. The challenge of reducing a handicap to an inconvenience as opposed to a tragedy. You're faced with it, you decide whether you're a victim or not. Either it's an overwhelming tragedy in your life, oh my God, why me? Or you say, I'm going to just push this down. I'm going to live my life every day that I can until I'm gone. RP for me is a walk in the park on Sunday compared to an incident that I recall. I have a friend that's gone now. He's Chinese. His name was Pat Hsu. And Pat found out that he had cancer, terminal cancer. He didn't want to ruin his life with treatments that at best were unlikely to help him. So he told the doctor when he was in his late 50s, early 60s, no, sir, no thank you. I'm going to go to home now and concentrate on the time I have left being productive and happy. And Pat Hsu spent the last 6 months of his life having the time of his life. I was so grateful for him being my friend, not for the fun, only for the fun we had, but because of that lesson he taught me about life and about living. Self-pity is the most awful waste of human energy. You live life every minute you can until there is no more. So whenever things are a little tough or I get scared, and I do frequently about any number of things, whether it's business or personal things, I think of Pat Hsu, my friend, Pat Hsu, who said, life is not so critical. Look it right in the eye and shake it.
Next up on Global Business People, is evolution the coming business trend? Futurist Faith Popcorn explains.
Well, evolution is probably the most important trend, and it's going to be my next book, Evolution, The 10 Truths of Marketing to Women.
Then it's time for a lesson in business mathematics, and the teacher is Tommy Hilfiger.
If you have the right product, people will come. Whether you have a great shop or not, people will find a great product. And the customer is very smart, so the customer knows when you have a great product.
Did you know that Federal Express, Nike shoes, and even H. Ross Perot have made their millions using government money programs, and you can too? I'm Matthew Lesko. My new book shows you 15,000 programs that you could use to get a better job, get an education, or start your own business. Those who know about the programs are the ones who get the money.
I was able to get monies to buy equipment for my business and also a microloan.
The government gave me money to live on for 6 months while I started my own business. I want every taxpayer to know you can get $100,000 to open up a coffee shop, or $15,000 to write a novel. You can also get $9,000 to take a computer course, or get a GED, or a PhD.
If I could get $15,000 to go back to school, any woman could do it.
Doing what you want to do in life is like being on vacation every single day. Now, I'll show you how to get the government to pay for it. So call me.
Call 1-800-648-9500 for only $37.95. Money back if not completely satisfied.
Hello everyone, I'm Perry Ruther. Today we're going to meet America's first and foremost trend forecaster, Faith Popcorn.
It's not weird.
Brain Reserve, her New York marketing consulting firm,
People would be wearing their Brain Reserve pins.
tracks cultural trends and predicts future fads for such Fortune 500 companies as AT&T, BMW, and IBM.
A regular guy that worked at IBM, where all the regular guys are.
She predicted the rise of New Age spirituality, the demand for fresh foods, and the popularity of four-wheel drives.
If you landed on another planet and saw somebody wearing this,
Yes. The best-selling author of Clicking and the Popcorn Report,
like fried eggs.
she has her fingers on the pulse of America.
Obviously not. I've never gotten a discount in my life.
Now, Faith, what exactly is a trend forecaster?
Well, a trend forecaster is really somebody that tells the world about what's going to happen in the future, more in terms of how the consumer will be behaving in the decade ahead.
And your new book, Clicking, you talked about one of the latest trends for women. It's called evolution. Can you explain that for us?
Well, evolution is probably the most important trend, and it's going to be my next book, Evolution, The 10 Truths of Marketing to Women. And it starts off just saying something very, very simple. Men and women are different. We have a different set of needs. We receive information differently. What's important to us is different. So why would we market to a woman in the same way as a man? We really shouldn't.
What advice would you give women who want to start up their own businesses?
Well, the first thing I'd say is figure out really what you need. What are you good at? And women are not very good at saying what they're good at. And what aren't you good at? And get that right kind of partnership in. But the most important thing that a woman needs in starting a company is guts. I think the only way for women to be successful, really, especially in business, is to start something of their own.
I love some of the future businesses that you've come up with in your book. One of the most interesting ones was Orphans Online. Tell us a little bit about that.
There should be a central place where every orphan all over the planet is listed. Age, stage, particular, conditions of that orphan, the bylaws of wherever that orphan is brought up, and how you would get to that orphan. And it should be more of a, planetary source, so that you could easily adopt a baby or a child from anywhere in the world. It's a very simple idea, and yet, not here yet.
And knowledge chips. How about that? I like that one.
Knowledge chips are absolutely fantastic. Now, knowledge chips are little tiny computer chips that would be inserted like right about here. There'd be a little opening, and you wouldn't have to learn French. You'd speak French. You wouldn't have to learn math. You'd know math. It would be this little knowledge chip that you would either rent, or you would buy if you think you're going to need it for a long time. And people say, that's weird. How'd you ever get that idea? And I noticed that physiology kind of has crossed over. When I saw nose rings and I saw, these little belly button rings, I thought people are, younger people usually, inserting something hard in, and they're not having a problem with that.
Did you have any sense whatsoever as a young person that you would be drawn to success in your life?
Being an American Jewish child in Shanghai and being so young, going to a convent because that was the only safe place, really, so being raised in a Catholic school, you really have the sense of being an outsider and watching. And I think all my life I was just watching things and trying to piece them together.
Who inspired you?
I came from a long line of cowgirls and cowboys in a way that we were strong, and we didn't believe that anything, in our family we didn't believe no matter what happened we could jump over it or get over it or yell our way through it or burst through. And I think that was very essential to any problem. Sometimes I say, I think, people present problems like, oh, that's a problem. That's not a problem. Problem is getting out of Germany, with Hitler. That's a problem.
What role did your parents or any of your family members play in your life?
My grandfather owned a haberdashery store, and we'd sit on the sidewalk and watch the windows. My grandfather always said, watch your real estate. And I was watching the windows, and we'd notice when nobody would go into the store, we just rearranged the windows. And then somebody would go in. So that's truly how I learned repositioning. I learned that if you changed the way something looked a little bit, or you skewed it a little bit, it became more interesting.
I know you're a futurist, so obviously you have to look at your own future. What do you see for yourself?
I am hoping that my future allows me to bring more and more people into their best futures. So I guess what I'm saying is that I'm hoping my work makes especially women realize that you don't have to be under it. You can be living in a little suburban community somewhere. You can have 6 kids. You have no idea how to support. You can have a guy that walks out on you. Anything can happen to you, but you don't have to be under it. You can jump on top of it. You can see what's going to happen and use it. Use your experience. Use your life to move forward, roll forward down the track.
Coming up next on Global Business People, fashion mogul Tommy Hilfiger talks about listening to the street.
Well, I like hearing from people. I like talking to people. I like to keep it real.
Tommy, how you doing?
Very good.
It's good to see you.
Good to see you.
You know, I'm so happy to catch up with you. Am I looking sharp?
Beautiful.
You know,
I love this.
You love this. You know why you love
great.
this? Because this is yours.
I knew it. When I saw it right away, I knew I liked it, but
Yeah.
I wasn't positive it was mine when I first saw it.
How could you not recognize your stuff?
You know, then I got closer. I saw the double buttons on it. I saw the collar shape. I felt it. I knew it was mine.
Now, where'd you grow up? Elmira, New York?
Elmira, New York.
Okay. Tell me about that, growing up there.
Well, when I started, when I grew up in Elmira, New York, I'm from a family of 9 children. So when you have 9 children, children have to work. So I was working at a very young age. And when I was in high school, I was working in a gas station, and I was pumping gas, making about $1 an hour. So I saved $150. And I bought 20 pairs of bell-bottom jeans from the street in New York City. I brought them back to my hometown of Elmira, which is a very small town in the middle of New York State, and I sold the jeans to my friends. I I took the profits and I opened a very small store. And then one day I decided I didn't like doing that any longer, but I liked designing clothes. And I was telling people in my family I wanted to design clothes, and they said, you never went to design school. How do you do that? And I said, watch me. I know what I want to do. So I took a pad and a pen and I started sketching ideas of what I wanted to see my customers wearing. And then I had the merchandise made, manufactured, put it in the stores, and it was great. People loved it. So then I decided I wanted to do that full-time. And when I started doing it full-time, of course there was a lot of competition, but it took me a few years to really get kick-started. And then when I came out with this oversized, baggy, preppy look, it became hot right away. And then I added athletics, and it became very successful. When I mixed them together, all the urban kids started wearing it. And when they started wearing it, all the suburban kids really caught on. So old, young, black, white, young, children, and even 70-year-olds started wearing it. So then I did children's wear, women's wear, fragrance, home, bed, bath, linens, everything.
What do you think's been the key to your success?
I think if you give the customer what he wants or what she wants, that's all. That's what it takes. I mean, you need the advertising and marketing to go along with it, but that's icing on the cake. If you have the right product, people will come. Whether you have a great shop or not, people will find a great product. And the customer is very smart, so the customer knows when you have a great product, and they know when it's not great. Or if it's not in the right color or the right fabric or the right fit, they don't want it.
Tell us about Freedom.
Freedom is the new fragrance. Freedom for her, freedom for him, and freedom is about something everyone really wants. However, the fragrance is something that after you wear it once or twice, you'll need it because you'll fall in love with it. The scent itself is, for men, much more masculine and stronger than the Tommy. And for women, it's more feminine and more sophisticated than Tommy Girl, for instance. And if you mix them together, you get a whole new ring. But I'm fortunate that I have Estee Lauder behind me because they have surrounded me with their professional scientists in developing unique fragrances. And these fragrance scents are very special.
How many kids you have? 4?
4 kids.
Now, what ages are they?
4, 6, 9, and 13.
They wear your stuff?
They wear my stuff, but they don't like wearing the label because they don't want people to pay attention to them. They'd rather wear the Gap sometimes or other stuff without the label.
Now, when you get to such a tremendous success, you find that it's hard for people to relate to you?
You know, I hear that, but I don't know if it is because I like people. I like hearing from people. I like talking to people. I like to keep it real.
Yeah, keep it real
as much as possible.
Okay.
I don't want to design from an ivory tower.
Right.
And think that I'm above the customer because the customer is very smart. And at the end of the day, they're the judges.
Do you have trouble understanding conversations in a crowded room? Or difficulty understanding soft speech, like a child's voice? Or does it seem like people are mumbling when they talk to you? If so, do what millions of people have already done. Call Miracle Ear for a valuable free information kit. When you call our toll-free number right now, you'll receive our free Hearing Loss and You videotape. It explains the common causes of hearing loss and what you can do about it. As a bonus, you'll also receive our informative booklet, Your Guide to Hearing Problems and Hearing Solutions. You'll get straightforward answers to common questions about hearing help. So why wait? Start enjoying life again. Call right now for your free video information kit only from Miracle Ear.
From the law offices of Ronnie Lynn Deutsch.
Do you owe back taxes? Business or personal, the IRS is now reconciling back-owed taxes, levies, liens, payroll taxes, as well as penalties at a fraction of what's owed. Qualified tax professionals will negotiate and resolve your tax nightmares. Call now before the program ends. We can help, and all calls are confidential. Call 800-772-1171 now.
Hi, I'm here in Washington, D.C. because I want women to know that the government has quota programs for women entrepreneurs who need money to start or expand a business. You know why? Because 2 out of every 3 businesses that start today are started by women. And women are more successful at starting businesses than men are. Women can get grants, loans, contracts, and free help to start any kind of business. What'd you get?
I got $25,000 to start my legal resource center.
Wow! There's money for rich women. There's money for low-income women. There's even money for childcare while you take classes to start your own business.
I got a government contract for $3 million. Oh,
my.
Wow.
And you?
I got a contract for $20,000.
How much a contract?
$199,000.
Great! If you're a woman, you should be spending more time doing the things you love, and I'll show you how to get the money and help to do it.
Call 1-800-610-1177. That's 1-800-610-1177 and get your share of government money. Money back guaranteed if not completely satisfied. Order now.
For love questions or any questions, call Psychic Talk now to get your answers.
Your wife thinks you're cheating on her.
Thinks I'm having an affair with my ex-wife.
You do see her, don't you, your ex?
We are friends.
Yeah, but don't lie to the psychic, darling, okay? Because we know all and we see all, all right? You have fallen back in love with your ex-wife, right?
More than ever.
Yeah.
Why wait any longer? Call for your free reading now.
Call 1-800-282-9376.
Thanks for joining us. I'm Wendy Walsh. We'll see you next time on Global Business People.